I'm Rochelle Castro, Principal of RC & Co Lawyers. I trust that you as a Strata manager has prepared your system and procedures for the amendments of the Owners Corporations Act that is coming to effect on 1 December 2021. Please keep in mind that the Owners Corporation Regulations is also on its way to being amended, which will give more details about how the changes to the Act will take effect and which will continue to impact your Strata management practice. We are here to help you seamlessly adjust your Strata management practice so that it complies with the new laws. We are happy to provide you guidance in respect on how we can help and support your adjustment on the changes to the Act and regulations. We have podcast via iTunes, Spotify, and RSS. Blog that is always available to support, guide and help you enjoy your Strata management practice. RC & Co Lawyers could also help you on other specialized areas of laws. Our leading lawyers also specialized in property, building and construction, debt collection, insolvency, commercial litigation, conveyancing, insurance, and immigration. You should scan this QR code for my e-business card. Or you can directly email me at rochelle.castro@rccolawyers.com. Or you can call me at 0429028182. Our A-team is continuously trained. They are high-skilled level professionals who are here to support you. We are happy to assist you to make your Strata management practice more enjoyable. We look forward to hearing from you.
For questions in relation to Strata, contact RC & Co Lawyers on the contact details shown on the screen. To get updated on our daily postings, follow and subscribe to all our social media platforms. Good morning, Strata enthusiasts. Welcome to Live Breakfast with Managers Strata Law Week. I am Ria, here to present the host of this morning's live stream, Rochelle Castro, Strata Lawyer.
Good morning, all. I'm Rochelle Castro, Strata Lawyer, spending the day 4 of 4 with you here at Breakfast with Managers Strata Law Week. The past 3 days in this live stream that we've held is all about the changes to the Owners Corporations Act. We've given you an overview of what are the changes that would impact absolutely all the stakeholders in the Owners Corporation world. Today, we will be tackling an overview and the regulations. So let's get down to it. Slides up. To the Owners Corporations Act and the Owners Corporations regulation that has already taken effect from 1 December 2021. Next slide. So let's get down to the summary of the amendments to the Owners Corporations Act. So the Victorian government has carried out many changes to various acts, which includes the Owners Corporations Act. We know that it took effect a couple of days ago, 1 December 2021, and that it changes various legislations, which includes, as I've mentioned, the Owners Corporations Act, Retirement Villages Act, and the Subdivision Act. Next slide. We've also touched on the changes which makes up now 5 tiers of the OC, the Owners Corporation, with a different degree of regulation for each tiers of the OC, and also highlighting the meaning of occupiable lots when it comes to categorizing the 5 tiers. There's also a removal of the requirement for the OC seal. The OC is allowed to levy fees to cover extraordinary premiums for reinstatement and replacement insurance or for an excess amount of the insurance claim. The OC is also allowed to dispose of goods that are abandoned on common property. There's also the changes in the Act with respect to disclosures in the first meeting of an owner's corporation, the duties of members of the committees and subcommittees, the restrictions of the circumstances in which a person with a criminal record may be registered as an OC manager. So there is a restriction on that. Next slide. The new duties of managers relating to contracts for goods and services, monies held on behalf of the OC on trust, and the manager's obligation in respect of disclosure on beneficial relationships with suppliers of goods and services. Further amendments to the Owners Corporations Act include OCs incorporating in respect of land used or used for the purposes of retirement village. And there's also an empowerment given to VCAT to make orders that allow lot owners to commence, prosecute, defend, or discontinue any proceeding on behalf of the OC, or the requirement for lot owners to pay the reasonable costs of the OC. Next slide. Further changes in respect of retirement villages, on the other hand, allow an election of a resident to be part of the committee. Next slide. In respect of the Subdivision Act, the changes include specifying how lot liability and lot entitlement should be allocated. Further changes to the Subdivision Act provide a requirement for the initial owner or developer to engage a surveyor to set out the initial allocation of lot liability and lot entitlement. Next slide. So I've just gone through an overview with you in respect of the changes to the Owners Corporations Act. We now move on to the Owners Corporations Regulation, which has just recently been released by the government. This takes effect 1 December 2021, keeping note that the regulations should be read and should be assessed and enforced in respect of legal rights next to the Owners Corporations Act. Next slide. Of Section 80, subsection 1 of the Owners Corporations Act, wherein a lot owner who participates in a general meeting could do so by teleconferencing or using any video conference facilities. You will note that the change here is identifying that video conferencing is accepted and expressed in the regulation. So, and it could be any platform that requires a video or that allows the video conference facility. Next slide. Regulation 8A, in respect of restriction on the number of lot owners on behalf of whom a proxy may vote on a resolution. So in respect of Section 89D, subsection 2B of the Owners Corporations Act, the prescribed circumstances in relation to proxies would include if the lot owner for whom the person is authorized to vote owns more than one lot and has authorized that person to vote on the lot owner's behalf in relation to each lot, or if the owner's corporation manages the common property of a commercial, retail, or industrial development. That is when Section 89D, subsection 2B would apply. Next slide. Regulation 9A, in respect of proceedings of the committee. Regulation 9A, subregulation 1, provides that for the purposes of Section 112, subsection 4 of the OC Act, a member who participates in a meeting by teleconferencing or may do so also by using a video conference facility. Subregulation 2 provides that for the purposes of Section 112, subsection 10 of the OC Act, the prescribed manner in participating in a meeting, committee meeting, could also permit a video conference facility to be used. Next slide. Regulation 11A, This is a significant regulation from my experience as a strata lawyer. This new regulation clarifies that in addition to the records provided in Section 144 of the OC Act, an owner's corporation must keep the following records in respect of the OC: telephone number and email address, if there's any, of each lot owner; records of any homicides, if there are any known, which have occurred on the common property. Next slide. Dates of any gas safety check, electrical safety check, and pool barrier compliance check conducted by the OC; details of any outstanding recommendations for work to be completed from a gas safety check and electrical safety check; notices, orders, declarations, reports, or recommendations issued by a building surveyor, municipal building surveyor, public authority, or under an act relating to any building defects or safety concerns associated with the common property. All these now must be included in the register or the records of the OC. Next slide. Regulation 14. New model rules inserted as follows. So these are in addition to the previous model rules. Model Rule 1.4 is now added, and that relates to smoke penetration, wherein a lot owner or occupier in a multi-level development must make sure that smoke caused by the smoking of tobacco or any other substance by the owner or occupier or any invitee of the owner or occupier does not penetrate to the common property or any other lot. This is nothing shocking. In fact, in other states who have amended their respective strata law have actually mirrored. This is a mirror of their respective laws and regulations. Model Rule 1.5 is now included in the model rules in relation to fire safety information. And that provides that a lot owner must make sure that any occupier is provided with a copy of the fire safety advice and any emergency preparedness plan that exists in relation to the lot before the occupier comes in and starts using the lot and starts living in the lot or uses it. Next slide. Schedule 2 is also amended, and in relation to sub-regulation 7, the owner's corporation may impose reasonable conditions on the lot owner's right or an occupier's right to access or use the common property to protect the quiet enjoyment. Next slide. In relation to Rule 5.2, Sub-Rule 2, there's an addition in respect of the owner's corporation cannot unreasonably prohibit the installation of sustainability items on the exterior of the lot, which includes the installation of a sustainability item only on aesthetic grounds. So there's that limitation on what the owner's corporation could not consent to. And examples of these sustainability items would be, for example, solar panels, or let's say air conditioning unit that is absolutely necessary for a person or an occupier's enjoyment of their lot. Model Rule 5.2 submodel 4. The owner's corporation may require the location of the sustainability item or the works involved in installing that item must not unreasonably disrupt the quiet enjoyment of other lot owners or occupiers or impede reasonable access to or of the use of any other lots or the common property. So notwithstanding that lot owners could propose and the owner's corporation cannot unreasonably withhold consent, there is that consideration that others who must enjoy their lot in common property, that they're not affected by that sustainability item installation. Next slide. The owner's corporation may impose reasonable conditions on the installation of a sustainability item on the exterior of the lot, mounting, and the location of the item, provided that these conditions do not increase the cost of installing the item or reduce its impact as a sustainability item. So in this additional model rule, there are a number of factors that a lot owner must now consider and that the owner's corporation is permitted to exercise and or enforce in relation to the sustainability item installation and of course use and consumption. Next slide. Addition to the model rules 5A, a meeting may be held in person or by teleconferencing, including a video conference, and this relates to holding a dispute resolution meeting. So there is that provision of this regulation that now allows dispute resolution meetings to be held by video conference. And in Model Rule 6A, the grievance committee may elect that an expert evidence is obtained to assist with the resolution of the dispute. 6B, the grievance committee may obtain an expert evidence to assist with the resolution of a dispute if the OC or the parties to the dispute agree in writing to pay for the cost of getting an expert report. So there's these additional assistance now in an attempt through the regulations to help out parties to resolve a dispute and so that they can consider more putting the dispute resolution in their control. Next slide. That closes our Breakfast with Managers Strata Law Week, dealing and helping you out with understanding what are the changes, the most recent changes, significant changes to the Owners Corporations Act, the Owners Corporations Regulation, Retirement Villages Act, and the Subdivision Act. We hope that you have found our 4-day live stream Breakfast with Managers quite useful. And if I could bring up the slide, I've got a quote in this last slide that I have. And I think it's the best way that not only myself as a Strata lawyer, but even our firm, RC & Co Lawyers, believes that how service providers, most especially those in the Strata community industry, how they should look so that they can enjoy, because this is a very demanding industry, but at the same time, if the challenge is taken, it could be a very enjoyable industry to service. And the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. We believe that, and we hope that you have been equipped with what we have shared with you in the past 4 days in this live stream. If you require any assistance, reach out to RC & Co Lawyers. So that concludes our Breakfast with Managers live stream, Strata Law Week. I'm Rochelle Castro, Strata Lawyer, signing off.